Um, so I don't know. I was gonna say something. I can't remember. It's been happening to me the last few days. I sort of have like something I'm thinking, something I want to say, and then there is something I have to do in between saying it, and it can be really small, like opening the camera right now. And then I completely lose. It's not even losing a train of thought. It's just like blank. Nothing's going on in my head. So I don't remember exactly what I wanted to say. But essentially I always have something to say. I bought some new coffee beans to grind. These are Costa Rica beans. What happened was I had beans that I bought from the supermarket, like Starbucks beans to grind, and I didn't realize I bought like dark roast, and they were like extremely dark, so it felt like drinking burnt coffee. But I've been like plugging through it because I bought a big pack and I don't really want it to go to waste, so I did a pretty good job of getting through it. But then I realized the last 2 weeks I've been kind of like buying coffee outside more because I don't like the coffee that I have at home. So really I haven't been saving any money by doing that. So I bought yesterday some new beans. And these are a lot lighter, sweeter, but I wanted them to be more sour. I guess I like sour coffee. And they're not. They're kind of sweet and very mild. So again, I didn't get the right flavor that I wanted, but it's still better than the completely dark roast. Anyways, I have the Xteink X4. After I bought it, or as I was buying it, I realized there's the X3, which is smaller. Even though I don't need it to be smaller than this is like a great size. Maybe what I like about the X3 from seeing different videos is that it has, if you can see here, right, we've got these buttons on the side and these buttons. And the X3 essentially has one button on this side and one button on this side for like flipping through. And the off button, instead of being here, is on the top. Even though I don't really mind, like it works for me. Like I hold this and essentially I flip back and forward and it works. So sometimes I hold it like this and sometimes I hold it like this where I flip here and here. But mostly I use the side buttons. But I really like it. I've been reading a lot. Mostly been reading on this. And I made little folders of like I've got fiction, nonfiction, and then I made like internal folders there as well. And it's very simple. Essentially, everything is flipped right now, so it's kind of awkward. But if you go down here to Xteink app and you go to more options, and there's like a hotspot, I put that on. And then I plug into it on my phone through like my local IP address. And it's very simple. Like essentially all the books are just, I download them directly to my phone. I've been using, they need to be like EPUB so that you'll have chapters and all that stuff. So I essentially just I'm using a PDF, Ocean PDF or something like that, where it's like free books to download. I've been finding most of the books that I want. The idea is that I'm using the Ocean PDF because I need EPUB books, and it's very hard to purchase EPUB books that aren't like blocked. So my idea is that once I finish a book, I would buy it in order to pay the writer for the book. Because I'm not trying to essentially steal. I'm just trying to gain access to EPUB on this device. I know there's other ways to do it, so I'm gonna like investigate that eventually. I think there's also a way to, because the thing is, if I'm moving between devices, because I have another device, I have a Books, I think it's called Color Go 7 or something like that, which I use because it has a backlight, and that essentially is what I use at night because it's more comfortable, like if I want to read in bed in the dark. But I don't have a way to like sync between devices. But I think there's a way with the Calibre application to do that. So I have to get into that eventually. But I kind of like the extreme simplicity of this. I know there's community add-ons. It's called Crosspoint. And I've seen a lot of videos about it, and I was going to do that. I thought I was going to do it immediately as I purchased this. But then I was like, let me try to see what this device has to offer on its own. The idea is, right, to have the bare minimum and to have like a one device single purpose device. So I've been using this for I think 2 weeks. And I really don't feel a need to have Crosspoint, which has all these like features. It's essentially UI features, but it does have some like practical features that don't exist on like different fonts and stuff like that. But I actually am liking the extreme bare bones simplicity of this, doing one thing, and I don't have to start thinking about the UI and all these things. So I'm actually liking the original firmware. And this brings me back to what I wanted to discuss, which is essentially AI. Sort of been consumed with using AI tools, mostly like Gemini chat kind of interfaces, but also, you know, when you open Google and you search, you have first the AI mode, and I end up diving into that immediately and then having a discussion. And I also work at a job that's very like AI forward, and politically I have a lot of opinions about it, and I'm starting to realize that, like, there's the political aspect of, you know, people losing jobs, and this idea that, you know, AI is like the next thing, and you know, the extreme cost on the environment in terms of, you know, water usage, and, you know, corrupting sort of different communities in terms of, you know, databases sitting in different locations and using up water and all these kinds of things. So I have a lot to say about that, and of course what it's doing to the job market. So ethically I am not for it at all. But if we also look at the kind of what it's doing to how we think, you know, and how we search things and how we have conversations. And in the beginning, I was like really interested in how AI conversations with like a kind of a chat environment really allows to connect things that when you obviously do like a regular kind of typical search, or when you're looking for information, you have to create those connections. But I was liking how AI was creating these interesting connections and opening my mind. But eventually it was kind of sending me into spirals that weren't effective at all. And it started feeling like a social media trap of trying to keep me on the platform, rather than actually learning something or getting information that I can do anything with. It was just this kind of rabbit hole, addictive, sort of conversational, like research or search, I don't know, search feature. And I realized that I'm losing the best part, which is creating the connections on my own between different informations from the context that I have. So I'm trying now to sort of strip myself away from this kind of interaction on my phone. So like maybe removing different applications like Gemini that I use and not having Google search be my first search engine. So if on my phone I have the search bar and I immediately just search something, immediately I have the AI mode that I can't like disable. So I've instead put on DuckDuckGo, which also has really great, I think, privacy. I have to read into it, but I know that it has a lot of good privacy settings, like right out of the gate. And also it has an ability to turn off AI features, so it's not my go-to in the interface. So I've done that. And I want to start sort of, not necessarily going back, but like starting, I guess it's kind of going back to the kind of search that I'm used to and thinking about information in the way that I am the one making those connections. I don't need AI making those connections for me. I don't think it adds value on the long term. And also on the short term, it's exhausting. And it's just a black hole. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm putting out there, and things I've been sort of thinking about the last few days about AI, that I kind of want to remove myself from it for various reasons. Like I said, there's the sort of ethical, political aspect, but there's also the sort of my thinking mind and how I want to use it and connect with it in a different way that isn't sort of now hijacked by these large corporations who are trying to just, keep us on their platforms and grab our attention in a way that's very destructive, not only for the environment, not only for the economy, but for like having agency over our decisions. So, yeah.